Give me revenge. I want a war, I don't want peace, I don't want friends. I'm in the field, I'm in the streets, I wanna win. They hear the shots, I'm making them drop, I did it again. So load up the troops and put up the loot. Look, got a whole crew on payroll. Anybody move, get KO. That like Roosta, get your block knocked off like a Lego. Fully automatic, get it really, we can have it. Get nigga want a battle, just say so. Got a brand new clip full of traces. Put a round on your head like a halo. Woo, woo. Ain't no one guarding me. Umbrella armory, I think you started me up. The throne has been calling, but no one is on it, so I guess it gotta be us. I've been on a mission, I loaded the Ronin in special edition. I see where they at and I send them a visit. I'm serving them up like a chef in the kitchen. So hold that, hit the gas like a blowback. No cap and it's black like Kodak. Put a in your shirt like a throwback. Know that when I play with your life, you can lose your breath. Hit him with the Mod 3 or the QRF. And I bite like a dog with a chewed off fence. Put another one down. Who got next? Give me revenge.
Greetings, fellow airsoft nerds, and welcome to the fifth and final card for the first season of KWA's Fight Night. I'm James, or Caber as the cool kids on the Instagram like to call me, and joining us tonight are two of the brightest stars in airsoft today.
How's it going, guys? Software 45 representing SYG Airsoft here. Thanks for tuning in.
What's going on? My name is PNW Punk. Thanks for having me back. I am so excited for Fight Night 5.
We are brought to you tonight by Evike, the world's largest airsoft retailer and distributor, with unmatched selections of airsoft guns, sniper rifles, gas blowbacks, and upgradable airsoft parts. LA Kappa Customs, which specializes in high Kappa builds and high Kappa parts for some of the cheapest prices in the US. Hey Punk!
Yeah!
Did you know that Goon Tape provides the softest, no-slip grip for the tools you count on the most?
Boy, howdy do I!
Their premium Raid Tape reduces felt recoil, wicks away moisture, and completely covers jagged attachment rails so you can stay on target and in the fight. Please rate responsibly.
I put that shit on everything!
And of course, we saved the best for last, the Slaughter Project. Now, I actually don't know anything about this. Can someone help me out?
The Slaughter Project is basically, it's a brand for you to encourage you to do what you love to its fullest extent because you love to do it. Not because you want clout, not because you want notoriety. It's to exceed your own expectations. At its core, that's what it is.
Just so you can kill it, slaughter it,
Yeah.
kill it,
Just
murder it.
Like whatever life throws in your way, Slaughter is meant to bring it to an absolute conclusion.
Slaughter Project. Just kill it. Before we get into tonight's matches, let's go over how we got here from the previous couple cards to where we're at now and how we foresee these matchups going down. Sapa, what can you tell us about the path that Roosta and Dom have taken to get where they're at right now?
I mean, I think between Dom and Roosta, both of these guys, they're very high-level athletes, in terms of airsofters. Dom having an experience in track, CrossFit athlete. Roosta practically playing every sport under the sun. This is an outlet for them to, prove that they are not only some of the best airsofters out there, but that their athleticism is really what brought them to where they're at. It's the survival of the fittest. And I think when you have two competitors like Dom and Roosta, they're gonna filter out the weak, and that's why they're here.
Now, Punk, you've been paying pretty close attention to Young and Valiant. How have you seen them sort of progress and evolve from their previous couple matches to now?
So if I first I want to start off with Young. He's been on in Speed QB. Young is kind of on a lot of people's radar just because he is, no pun intended, young, but the guy runs circles around players. He's so technical, so fast. He's an incredible player to watch. That being said, I mean, he's got to where we're at now because of that skill. He's backed up everything he said and wanted to do. So he deserves to be here, clearly. And Valiant. Now, Valiant has been the underdog from the beginning. I've counted him out. I think we've all at one point said, this is going to be a quick match. Valiant's going to, he has proved us all wrong. And to see him go up against Young, like Roosta and Dom, that is an amazing matchup. In fact, both these matchups are just amazing. But Young versus Valiant, because Valiant has been the underdog so far, if he can get past Young, that is a huge huge kind of accomplishment for where he comes from in his play style to where he's progressed to now. And it's been this huge evolution coming up to it. So Valiant's been an underdog. I'm not going to call it, but like this matchup in particular is going to be prime proving ground for Valiant. Either way, win or lose, mad respect to having him where he's at now.
And I think in order for us to understand what's going on today in Fight Night 5, we need to revisit the events that unfolded in Fight Night 4. The first matchup was between Dom and Ranger Rhett, and it was a closer game than a lot of us thought it was going to be. It was amazing to see Ranger Rhett try to pressure Dom and to bring the fight to him, but in the end, he kind of tried to fight fire with fire and ended up getting burned in the process. We saw Young take on Crisis. Again, another match that was much closer than we expected. And, maybe the money, the 10K, kind of got into Young's mind. He is a little bit younger, probably doesn't really know how much, 10K looks like, and he was just really stoked. And there's a lot of good cat and mouse, and it was very close in points. Young barely squeaking by and taking the dub in that set. Valiant coming out on top against Gunner. Valiant was just, like I said, we counted him out, but we cannot ignore the fact that he's a very dynamic player and a very accurate shooter. And maybe just too accurate, too dynamic for Gunner, who is much more of an aggressive player. And I think Gunner kind of got in his own head a little bit, came out too aggressive, failed to go for points, too focused on going for the kill. And this is not to discredit Valiant. Valiant played a very smart game and just took Gunner out. And of course, we saw Roosta versus TTG Ryan. Roosta just too fast, too smart, too much of a multitasker, too much of an athlete and a thinker at the same time, making for a dangerous combination. And Ryan just really had no answers for that. Ryan's conditioning was a problem. It just wasn't there. He was tired within the first couple rounds. Again, Roosta just always 2 steps ahead, 4 times the amount of points that Ryan accumulated. And it was just a blowout. Roosta just playing chess moves and just didn't let Ryan breathe and just choked him out.
Put in an airsoft tournament, I'm here to solidify that I am the grandfather, and that's mine.
This is that time where trash talking isn't really needed. Prove your game. I wish the best of luck to all players.
OSP is an exciting indoor airsoft arena duel. This is a frantic pace one-on-one matchup where each competitor starts off empty-handed and must grab a gun stationed nearby. Competitors need to find its respective magazines at designated places on the field. As if that wasn't stressful enough, the magazines located strategically on the field will have unexpected amounts of BBs preloaded in each mag. Each magazine will be color-coded to give the player some idea of the round count of the magazine. The field layout on each side is closely mirrored to ensure not one side has a major advantage. Points are awarded for eliminations and also capturing objectives scattered throughout the field. Each player will have a designated objective color that they must collect to earn additional points. Objectives will be color-coded red or blue, and each player must collect their own colored objectives only. Each elimination scores 50 points, and each objective collected nets that player 10 points for a total of 130 available points per game. With a total of 8 objectives available for each player, just 5 objectives is the point equivalent of eliminating your opponent. Objective points will be scored at the end of the round regardless if that player was eliminated or not. The round ends when a player is eliminated. Round 1, OSP, consists of 3 total games, with each player accumulating points that carry over into round 2. A time limit of 90 seconds will start at the opening horn with announcements signaling 45 seconds remaining and 10 seconds remaining. Objectives will reset by KWA staff prior to the start of each round, and magazines will be removed from play, encouraging a different strategy and approach to the field layout.
I've been in this game for about 15 years now. Me having so many years under the belt, I've seen stages and evolution of airsoft. I've pretty much watched it all. I've played it all. There's nothing that I don't know.
One-handed shot.
Definitely style points. This would, oh man.
I like to establish the dominance in the game. Once I set the pace, it really gets into people's head because they see how calm and collected I still am. Once I sense the fear, I get after that. It motivates me to get after him more.
Wow, nice gun battle there. Dom using Red's own medicine against him.
I'm just gonna play myself, rush him a little bit more than he's used to because nobody's really pushed him that much. I know he likes to tuck in and wait for somebody to make moves, but I'm gonna surprise him because he thinks I'm gonna be doing the same thing.
As everyone knows, that's my teammate, and he pretty much knows how I play. But as I've been, demonstrating, I have many ways.
He's just walking down the middle of the field with his pistol out. Yeah.
Go for the entertainment,
Come out.
Really dynamic footwork there by Roosta.
And he's not gonna know, and the fans and you guys won't know until the day of. So let's just leave it at that.
Sound like Superman's getting. Holy shit! What the fuck was that?
The guy likes to run around a lot, and I always lead the shots, so it's pretty predictable. But at the same time, it's my teammate. He knows how I play. He knows I'm going to be doing the same things. Me and him have been playing for like 10 years together. He always says, hey, I'm going to slap you. He's not willing to slap me. That ain't happening.
So 430 points. Pretty dominant win there. Probably the most dominant performance of the night.
The fact that 10K is the first time, Cash has even been put in an airsoft tournament. I'm here to solidify that I am the grandfather, and that's mine.
"29-year-old Roosta comes into this match at 5'10" with 15 years of airsofting experience and a 3-0 fight night record. Dom also comes into this match at 5'10" with 13 years of experience and a 3-0 fight night record. The guns these competitors are using for this match will be the EMG Combat Master pistol and the EMG Noveski rifle.
Obviously, we see Dom reaching for the pistol. He's primarily a pistol player, and Roosta knows Dom well enough to go for the pistol too. Obviously, when both competitors reach for pistol, they're trying to stay small, they're trying to stay compact, trying to move stealthily.
It feels like watching two magnets repel against one another right now.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys, obviously, I know them real well. Some of the most tenacious players on the team, some of the fastest, smartest players on the team as well.
Neck and neck, they're 30 on 30 in points right now, getting objectives where they... Ooh, nice shot.
A little close. It's gonna be interesting to see how Roosta deals with Dom's accuracy and how Dom deals with Roosta's speed. We're gonna see a lot. We're gonna hear a lot of trash talk, guaranteed.
Absolutely.
We see Dom taking his usual stance, going for the counter shot. Ooh,
real close.
Very close.
Out of ammo.
Yeah.
Scrambling to find a new magazine.
Scrambling to find a magazine. I'm surprised to see Dom missing these shots.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing.
I kind of question it a little bit, but the refs are letting it play, so the refs are doing their job. Ooh.
Dom eliminated.
Very face-to-face, in-your-face type action. To be honest, I don't think that round was as definitive as it should have been.
It did. It really did. It looked, there were some questionable calls, but I think,
Definitely.
like I said.
I'm not surprised to see Dom reaching for that pistol again. Oh, Roosta reaching for a rifle this time. So normally when that happens, I expect the player... Wow, Roosta, again, going back to Fight Night 4, Roosta much more mindful of points, much better at multitasking. Roosta in a comfortable lead, 90-point lead here.
I also want to make a huge count that nobody has made Dom move as quickly like this in the entire time. Usually Dom will post up and just wait him out.
But again, Roosta definitely studied tips for Fight Night 4, and I remember saying in the commentary that Dom's weakness is when you apply pressure, and that's exactly what Roosta did in that past
That's what
round.
we're seeing.
160 to 120, Roosta in charge.
Going for the pistol. Grabbing extra magazines this time.
Very smart.
Very smart.
See, look at that.
Just
Load the
ranking
pistol,
up his
grab an extra
points.
magazine and getting points at the same time. Using a lot of lateral movement. Look, this is probably some of the fastest camera action we've seen in a while.
No, I was going to say this game looks like it's played in fast forward. These guys are quick and they're constantly on the move.
Look at that Fight Night belt. Just
Tell me that wasn't a
full
one ball.
display in the center of the field.
Hit.
Wow.
Jesus.
It was a one-handed shot, it looked like. One-handed.
Boom!
Right in the chest.
Fuck out of here!
Just rolled up on him.
He said, get the fuck
Barrel
out of here.
stuffed him.
Roosta with a, wow. End of round 1, Roosta large and in charge.
Large
270 points at Dom's
point
160.
gap. Large point gap.
Sapo, does that lead surprise you at all?
Not at all. Roosta's shown in the past that he's a much better multitasker than Dom. Dom being a little bit more defensive, posting up. But again, like I was saying, that's exactly what I expected to see. I knew that Roosta was going to be able to play hard offense, be mindful of ammo management, and be very mindful of point accumulation.
Yeah, Roosta did not stop when it came to, if he saw a shiny color, he was picking it up. Really made sure that he kept those objectives in mind.
Attack and defend is another intense one-on-one matchup, with one player assuming the role of an aggressive attacker, with the other player adopting a defensive role. In this mode, only the attacking player will score points for that game. The defending player's only goal is to prevent or stop the attacker from scoring points. Each player will have a chance to attack twice and defend twice. This time around, each competitor will utilize their own weapon of choice. The winner of the OSP round will choose to either attack first or defend first. Each game will have 8 possible objectives, each objective 10 points. If the attacker eliminates the defender, they will be awarded any objective points acquired plus 50 points for elimination. The round ends when a player is eliminated. The field will be marked with a visible line separating the attacking side and the defending side. With the defender only allowed to stay within their half of the field, defenders that cross the center line will be penalized, and full points for the round will be awarded to the attacker.
It's a little bit different this time in that they're not allowed to cross the 50.
So basically, defense is not allowed to cross the 50. The attacker has free range the entire field.
This is going to be a disadvantage for Roosta. He's a little bit more aggressive, so if he's on defense, he's got to be mindful of that 50-yard line.
It's like he's playing on a leash.
Yeah. Wow. I honestly expect to see a little bit more of a snapshot battle between these two guys, but
As was I.
Seems like Roosta is just trapping him, forcing Dom to move.
Let's go.
Putting him down in the process.
Also, Dom, there's a lot of these shots that I would have expected Dom to just land, and maybe it counts to the speed of Roosta. So.
Yeah, scurrying around, lateral movement. Look at that footwork.
It's like watching a boxer.
Yeah, Roosta. Wow, I didn't
even see it.
It sounded like a one ball. I guess we didn't see from the perspective of Dom, but audibly I heard one shot. Probably caught him reaching. Roosta real smart there, using a little camouflage there. Again, Dom is getting trapped, and
he's waiting for him.
If I was Dom, I would be using different levels. He's kind of coming out the same level, and against someone like Roosta, that's just you're gonna cause your own demise. You know, Dom should be backing up right now, repositioning.
Yep. One ball,
Yep.
one shot.
Yep.
Done deal. He just gave him a little bit. I guarantee it. Watch this.
I mean, this is very close, and that's what we should expect. You know, these guys evenly matched up in experience.
Look. God damn.
Just
God damn.
give him an inches in the table.
Yeah. What an amazing shot.
Roosta, way more objective points and elimination points. This could go either way should they run it back, but Roosta was the better man today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't wanna live life fast, just die too young.
For his age.
Die too young. 100 miles per hour, might crash cause a good
Young is so goddamn fast.
Doesn't matter how young or your height, you know. I've started when I was 11 years old, walking down Snake. A lot has changed since then. The amount of years I've played is significantly shorter than them. You know, just developing faster and keeping up with the game. I met some good people that could give me good pointers in that time frame, which led me to here. They're my mentors in the game.
If you weren't there for the grassroots, I can't let you in. I'm sorry to break the bad news.
I'm feeling good about it. I don't go in with a plan for any of these matches. My style is the 100% reactionary. I can't tell you what's gonna happen or what I'm gonna do because I don't know until it starts moving.
God, that's some John Wick round right there.
Yeah, I do have a plan, but I don't really like to give it out because it takes out my wild card.
A lot of people are predicting that Young might be one of the guys that's going to make it to the end.
Young is so fucking fast.
I have some things and some tricks to land on him, and I'm hoping he's ready because I've been in more CQB matches than him. I've been practicing more. He's been more outdoor, and this isn't an outdoor environment. This is where my niche is, so I'm ready to go against him.
I was curious if anybody's going to take me serious today or not, given the matches that I've played in the past. And I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But I think they're still going to sleep on me.
I'm just going to take care of it like it's any other 1v1. I took care of Manny. I took care of other people in Fight Night, you know, and I'm looking forward to taking out my opponent.
Our tale of the tape for this next match. 34-year-old Valiant comes into this match with 2 years of airsofting experience at 5'9" and a 3-0 Fight Night record. He will be going against 15-year-old Young at 5'7" with 3 years of airsofting experience and a 3-0 Fight Night record. For this match, competitors will be using the EMG Salient pistol and the new KWA KO Eve 4.
We go Valiant versus Young.
This is the match I've been looking forward to the most. The point accumulation.
Both each grabbing 10 points. Ooh, Valiant way out in the open there. I'm surprised Young didn't take him out.
Great trade-off.
We've seen Valiant making use of that jump shot here and there with no luck, but you know, Young knows better than to fall for that.
I hit.
Valiant eliminated.
Real smart.
Great
Actually,
quick shot.
Young was watching Roosta do that. Use that same tactic. Use the center as a shield to be able to see through it.
Too.
One balled him.
With that light inside that center, it's hard to see through it.
And go round two. Young in a comfortable lead, 80 points to Valiant's 30. Both obviously reaching for the EMG salience.
Valiant making sure that he's looking at all his angles. It's almost every single bunker he goes into, he jumps up just to get a quick look.
It looks like Young went for the rifle this time. Very smart. He's trying to play a little bit of a slower game, trying to force Valiant to make a mistake while reaching for those points.
Making sure he gets himself trapped into a corner.
Very silent movement from Young. I like what I'm seeing. Playing at a low level. not staying anywhere for too long.
All right, Valiant's gonna have to move quick, otherwise he's gonna get caught.
I mean, Valiant needs to like move. You know, he can't just stay somewhere for too long.
Yeah.
As soon as Young spots him.
Yeah, but he does. He sounds a little winded right now, though.
Yeah. Could be nerves. Could be a combination of just age. Ooh,
Good trade.
Nice trade.
Good
nice
trade. And the shadow, man. That shadow again. It'll get you.
Obviously, no elimination points there. But Young still in a comfortable lead. 170, 110.
Valiant really putting on a good trade against Young. Point wise, they're not far off. Constantly.
Very dynamic, very smooth.
Ah, damn.
Ooh,
I didn't think he crossed already.
Look, just got him. I bet he came around the back.
Yeah, flanked him.
Yep. Didn't even hear him.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like going back to what we were saying in the previous round, like, you can't stay in the same place for too long when you're going against Young. You know,
None.
show yourself, shift over somewhere else. Young winning by 100 points.
Yeah, you basically need to be on the same movement level as Young, otherwise you're gonna get out.
They were matched up evenly with objective points there.
Absolutely.
So the difference was in the eliminations. Attack and defend rounds. I'm not surprised to see Valiant with a rifle in this round and Young with his own personal pistol.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
So you can judge it from Valiant's reaction too. He got caught, he knows it.
He did. And it's really cool too is that to see Valiant in real time
he get like literally just one little mistake. A little double tap.
Valiant is finding out in a hard way who he's going up against.
Young on defense. Yeah. Valiant's got to go for those points, man. He can't be going out. He can't be going out here and trying to duke it out with Young right now.
He wants. And what a good shot.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
Great shot. Valiant wanted that kill too. Awesome lead. That was a great lead.
Yeah, I think Young just maybe getting a little over anxious, exposing too much of his body there, giving Valiant an easy shot. Yeah, I mean Young is just in a really comfortable points lead right here.
Nice dodge. Yeah, with a lead like this,
Wow.
with a lead like this, he really can just be a more reserved player if he needs.
I mean, if I was Valiant at this point, when he's on defense, he should be posting up and allowing Young to make mistakes. The mistake that he's making is he's trying to match movement when he's on defense, and that's just not going to work out for him.
No. Just how quick Young is insane.
And now we see Young shifting over to his like very aggressive offensive mode. Shooting a lot more than the first couple rounds, and that might have been a mistake on his part.
Yeah.
But again, when you have a comfortable lead like that, it affords you to kind of be a little bit more aggressive. Force the action. Maybe he's trying to tire Valiant out. Young winning the match, 360 points to Valiant's 170. Great job. I expected to see Valiant on a little bit more of a defensive stance. I think he kind of psyched himself out. trying to match Young's movement, and that's his mistake.
Yeah. But I will say though that that all that aside, Valiant should have. I mean, in hindsight, you got to keep out for them's objectives. You got to always be paying attention to them those little colored pucks out there, man. If you don't, I mean, we could have had a closer match this time if he was a little bit more mindful of that, because his speed and his accuracy was there. I'm not going to discredit him for that, because he really was doing an awesome job at tracking Young's speed, where his position was, where he thinks he might be. I can tell maybe he studied for this, because I mean he was ready for Young in a lot of head to head.
Yeah, and in my perspective, it almost seemed like he was trying a little bit too hard to match him up. Maybe he was overanalyzing the situation and was kind of trying to prove that he could keep up, but in the process fell behind on points.
A little bit, yeah. He was a little too, because there was one engagement in particular where he almost passed up almost 30 to 40 points just so he could keep track on eliminating Young.
And I'm sure the viewers can notice, like, the pace of these matches is a lot more frenzied, and that's because we're at a higher level now. These finalists are the cream of the crop, and that's why you're seeing such fast-paced action.
Which is, again, something to keep in mind when it comes to, like, it's easy to overlook things, especially when you're this focused on it just winning.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tale of the Tape for our final match of the evening. 29-year-old Roosta comes in at 5'10" with 15 years of airsofting experience and now a 4-0 fight night record. He will be going against 15-year-old Young at 5'7" with 3 years of airsofting experience and a brand new 4-0 fight night record.
Getting closer and closer to the end. It's gonna be a showdown, and I know he brought 2 different toys. I only brought one, and I said that if I go down, it's gonna be the OG way with a pistol.
I don't really have to run my mouth, This is that time where trash talking isn't really needed. That doesn't really prove anything to the outcome. Itself is what matters. Roosta, the way I play and the way he plays is pretty different. That guy could do anything.
Speed kills. And in a game like this where it's one-on-one, it literally only takes a BB to get eliminated.
Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy.
Everyone wants to shoot the bird, but it's not that easy.
I didn't even think about the money. And if I don't think about the money and just think about the play, it makes me more confident in winning.
Push them all aside, is what you get for trying to play me.
I'm fighting for all the OGs because I'm the last one left. They know who I am. El Padrino.
Sabo, I'd like to get your input on this first, and Punk, I'd like to have you weigh on this as well. Based on what we've seen, how do we think the Roosta Young is going to play out based on what we just saw in those 2 matches? Because it seems like what we were talking about earlier, it sort of went that same way. So do we what result are we expecting with this last final match?
Here's
Sabo,
the thing,
first,
right?
please.
Like Roosta, a little bit older, way more experienced. We all know he's super athletic, super fast. We also know that Young, although he's not as experienced, number one, he's a smaller target, right? That's a big thing. He's much younger, almost half the age of Roosta. Maybe Roosta's a little bit stronger physically, but we know that Young's movement is almost just as dynamic, maybe not as explosive. So I kind of predict that if I had to guess, we might see Roosta playing a much smarter game because he's probably expecting Young to come out guns blazing, and we might even see a defensive Roosta here. That's my prediction. Punk, what do you think?
So I honestly would like to see a more defensive Roosta, to be honest with you, because the last couple rounds that we've seen Roosta compete in, he's been like that. I feel like more entertainer. The last match that we saw against him with Dom, that felt like brother. I mean, because those guys are friends. You guys are teammates. Like they're absolutely they're neighbors. So like that dynamic was, I feel like we got to see Roosta kind of play at his leisure. You know what I mean? Like I felt like it was more easier because you know each other. But with this matchup coming up, because of that age difference, that gap, Young's speed, it's like sometimes it's like watching the Flash. You know what I mean? Like he just sneaks right up on you. So I think it will say a lot to Roosta's ability to change his dynamic of play from an aggressive to entertaining to defensive. So I also would like to see a defensive Roosta play more methodically.
Yeah, and we know Roosta loves to play the mind games,
Yeah.
He might take on he might try to sun him, the big brother, little brother thing, like let the little brother run around.
Yeah.
And make some mistakes.
For this last match, competitors will be using the KWA T6 and a custom high kappa thanks to LA Kappa Customs.
Here we are. This is the championship matchup between SYG Roosta and Young.
If you guys have ever wanted to know what a $10,000 airsoft match looks like, you're about to fucking watch it go down right now.
See, this is kind of what we expected, right? Like Roosta not really showing too much,
waiting
going for those points as usual.
Yeah, defensive player.
Ooh, yeah, he got those points and posted up.
Oh man, the style points on Roostas.
One-handed too. So, we saw a little bit of the defensive, we saw a little bit of the entertainer there.
Young going for the high kappa, Roosta.
Young fumbled it a little bit. Roosta immediately chasing those points. Ooh, revenge.
Yeah, Young is showing Roosta that he's not going to be pushed over. Caught him slipping.
But, yeah. I'm surprised to see, I guess Roosta was a little bit too comfortable there. Didn't change levels. He could have easily just crawled.
Yeah.
Roosta reaching for the high kappa. Young reaching for the rifle.
Caught him in the bag.
Ooh, caught him slipping, dude. Caught him slipping.
Roosta's shots, every single one of them, deliberate and just not wasting any time. He's not wasting anyone's time.
These games are just so fast. At the end of round one, Roosta took that one.
Young's gonna have to pay attention.
Just look at those objective points. This wasn't so much of a match about eliminations. The objective point deficit is just huge. Eliminations, 2 eliminations for Roosta, 1 elimination for Young. Roosta knew what he had to do there, and he did it. Just going for those points.
Young's got some work to do.
Most memorable were easily, the different rivalries that came out of everything. Each one was extremely satisfying to watch. The best things I got to experience was just the different play styles. And some of them just went together like peanut butter and jelly. The people that participated this year, you got all walks of life. Speedsofters, Milton dudes, weekend warriors. You got everybody that came out to play. We didn't pick anyone to come play. They paid their way. They paid their admission. They came out and they competed. It was really cool.
All right, hold up, baby, let's go.
Oh, a little bit of rock, scissors, paper to determine which side. Nice gamesmanship, nice sportsmanship.
This
here.
is it. This is gonna be. This is what decides it, man. These trades are gonna be epic.
Running straight out to the 50. See, they're smart here. They can't afford. It looks like Young had a little bit of a complaint there.
Yeah.
It's all good though. Still got him.
Yep. Made sure he paid for it.
Yeah, that was questionable there. Roosta moving obviously very fast. Oh, I'm surprised he made that mistake. You know, he should have known. It looked like Roosta thought that Young was gonna cut the angle, but he didn't. A lot of patience there from Young, keeping on the angle. I mean, just look at the pace here.
Got your beanie.
This is, oh man, this is fun.
Yeah, this is a snapshot battle that I wanted to see. We have
is-
not seen a snapshot battle like this in a while.
At all. This is amazing. Watch the speed on this. For anybody watching this, this is amazing homework right here.
I mean, Roosta obviously in a much better position. He's able to see everything while having cover at the same time. So the thing is, I'm surprised to see that we're not seeing Roosta shoot out of his left. He's only coming out of his right side.
Oh man, this is intense.
Really intense here. Really intense.
This is nuts. Let's fucking go.
2 hits.
I want to see it. Oh man. I was hoping to see a little jump shot from Roosta there, but
Young applied that pressure constantly. Yeah. Oh man!
Roosta paying a little bit too much attention to his upper body, not mindful of his foot placement.
That's what happens when you use
Very
your
smart
cover
by Young there.
as a crutch.
This is a pretty close game, guys. 50-point deficit, 60 points
This
now.
could easily go either way. Young posted up, waiting for Roosta to make a move.
We see Young kind of using
Yep.
a little bit of Dom strategy there. Posting up, forcing Roosta to make the mistake.
This comes down to the... Oh, man. This is coming down to it.
So there we see Young taking advantage of the fact that, Roosta's going for those entertainment points.
Yep.
And got caught while he was jumping.
Young is focused. I think Young's finding a new stride.
Final round here, guys. Final round. This determines who wins the 10K.
Infinite time. There is no time limit on this. Here we go.
Wow.
Wow. This is it.
Super aggressive play by Roosta there. This is very high level stuff we're seeing, guys. I mean, this is why they're here, right? This is the cream of the crop. The 2 highest skilled players in Fight Night, duking it out for 10K.
He is making... Oh, he's keeping him on his toes.
I think Young is a little bit afraid here to move to... Okay, never mind. Going for those points.
This is insane.
This is a really fast-paced game, guys. Like, I'm even having trouble commentating now.
I'm just in disbelief these guys are moving so damn fast. These guys are countering each other's moves.
Ooh, a lot of close shots here.
That's landing right on top.
This is not even inches. This is down to like half inches.
Yeah, millimeters. This is insane. Watch the movements. Everything is like a chess match. This is like watching speed chess. Oh my god!
Oh.
This is nuts!
They gotta be careful of ammo management here.
Who?
I don't know how much ammo Roosta has left. I don't know who's been shooting more. I can't really track it in my mind right now. But
this is, oh my god.
You see that Young's using an extended bag, primary sector. So he's got a lot more ammo than Roosta here. Roosta's gotta be a little bit more patient. Pick his shots. Ooh, wow.
Holy shit! That was nuts. My palms are sweaty. Jesus.
That's just way too close for comfort for me. Like, I really wish I could see. Okay, yeah, it looks like Roosta got Young first.
God damn.
So there we go. Roosta, crowned Fight Night champion. It looks like.
Was that a trade?
That was my kill.
There's a little bit of a dispute here.
All right.
I saw him.
Who saw what?
I heard you slide.
We have an official challenge by Young. Give us a second.
And we have our first official challenge in Fight Night for the final play of this game, and it comes down to this.
Okay, so they're probably gonna have to go review the GoPro footage here. I mean, we saw the replays. It was pretty clear to me what happened there. But ultimately, doesn't matter what I see. It matters what happens when they review the tape. Here we go. Watching the review.
Got him.
I don't even see any BBs coming out of Young's gun. You know, Young had his gun down, running up. Roosta saw him, flashlight on, and that's the first shot right there, headshot. I don't know if anything came out of Young's gun, so...
It kind of looked like, and from my perspective, what it looked like is that as he came around, Roosta moved inward towards the bunker, so any shot that would have came out, unless his gun was right around the corner, which it didn't look like it was, I feel like he was just stepping out of the way of Young's shots. Comes down to 10 points if it goes in Young's favor. Here we go.
We've come up with a decision, and the Fight Night season winner is...
Here we go.
SYG Roosta.
Yeah!
Oh my god!
Congratulations, Roosta, on the fucking win. 10K goes to you. This is nuts. What an awesome round.
SYG Roosta is the Fight Night champion 2021. He wins the 10K, wins bragging rights. SYG Roosta is crowned your Fight Night champion. Man, I feel like I really need to like rewatch those matches, you know, because there's so much going on in such a short amount of time. Super fast-paced action. Look at how close the points were there.
Jesus.
I mean, if you really take a look at that, all right, from the attack and defend rounds, it looks like, you know, again, eliminations didn't really matter much there. Roosta coming out on top in terms of points. In the attack and defend rounds, it's the same thing, you know. Roosta with 40 objective points, Young with 50 objective points, and it boiled down to that last elimination. So close to call.
Congratulations.
You know, in the future, I would love to see a rematch at one point. It's just super close.
Damn.
Man.
I mean, honestly, like the 15 years that I've been airsofting, I've been watching. So I hope all you, viewers, you were watching, and I hope you learned something. But no, I wouldn't be here without half of the competitors that started from the very beginning. There had to be one on top. I guess it was me. I want to thank KWA for everything. The Fight Night that they put on is an unbelievable first of its kind, and I think it's just gonna do nothing but grow. Get more competitors in here and, keep it up. You already know who this is. Here with KWA Fight Night Season 1. $10,000 champion winner. It's the man. And SYG, numeral X. And we're out.
Also, that reminds me, Roosta said he was going to buy me a gold chain. I don't care if it's fake or not. He says I was going to get a Filipino gold chain. So I'm calling you. I better be getting one in the mail.
I mean, shout outs to these guys,
Absolutely.
I've known and I've played with Roosta for more than a decade. When I first saw Young play, I called it. I said he was the future of the sport, and the proof's in the pudding. And we saw it here tonight, Fight Night 5. We're here at the championships, and
amazing outcome to a long competition with KWA Fight Night. This is it. This is what it comes down to, and what an amazing conclusion.
So not only does Roosta win the chest rig and the 10K, don't sleep on his third prize that Ryan still owes him Lumpia. Sapo, based on the match we just saw, is that about on par for how you thought this was going to go down, or were you surprised at all by anything?
I wasn't surprised at all. Like, I was itching to see a snapshot battle. I got what I wanted to see. We all saw it. It's just a super tight game of millimeters from the foot shot from, that Young put on Roosta. The smarter play by Roosta to hide behind the center barrier just so he could see Young at all times, forcing Young to kind of feel trapped. I'm not surprised at all that it was this close. It was almost too close to call, but again, when you have a matchup like this, it boils down to the tape, proof's in the pudding. It pretty much unfolded exactly how I thought it was. Roosta versus Young, although Young's on the come up, Roosta's just too smart. And I think that's what it was. It was like positioning. Positioning was the difference here. Even in the last sequence, Roosta was playing defensive, just like we kind of anticipated, in that he was waiting for Young. Young kind of rushed into the action, and in that split second, he got taken out, and that made all the difference. Shout out to Roosta on that play. Way, way too close. He made the right decision when he needed to.
Punk, if I could get your thoughts also on how you saw this match going, how you'd predicted this going down, and how that met your expectations, and what, if anything, surprised you or stood out to you about this match?
This match was something I was really looking forward to seeing. In my mind, the many different outcomes this could have gone. This is kind of where my brain went at the end of the day. Was like, basically, this was the end game as to where I thought this was going to go. And Roosta is one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player, style-wise, aesthetically. And one of the things I liked most about what Roosta did was he did not allow Young to get the drop on him at all. He used that center bunker as it was like a prism. It did not let Young out of his sight at all, which gave him the only advantage you need when it goes against Young, because Young is silent. He can move around you. He can, and Roosta used that to his advantage. It just was like his all-seeing eye was that center bunker, and it allowed him to just never, ever let Young move. And when they did, the trade-offs that they were having were just epic. And then it just came down to skill. And so this went, just like Eric said, this went exactly how I thought it would. Down to the wire, down to the play call, and then it came down to a matter of points, and Roosta killed it.
Yeah, much like other fighting arts, it's a game of inches, and it's a game where you need to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. And this round was, evidence of that. Like, you just can't make mistakes at this level. And you can't give anybody anything to shoot at, even a foot, even like your foot sticking out of.
Yeah,
you got to be mindful of your defense and offense at the same time, and your points. Probably the most diverse game, even though it seemed like it was a bunch of shooting. It sounded like a bunch of gunfire, but there was a whole lot of intricate stuff going on that, maybe some of the more inexperienced players or viewers might not have noticed.
Yeah, this is a great example of, like, just where you need to be at to compete in Fight Night, or where you even just need to compete and be the best in general. This is like pinnacle right here. The speed, like you were saying, your snapshots have to be on point, because nothing else will do. So this is.
We just got word from KWA that season 2 has been confirmed.
Here we go.
And what this means is that it's open to all challengers. So if you think you got what it takes, when the announcement comes, sign up. I would really love to see a few of the competitors come back, that maybe didn't really get a chance to get a fair shake. Obviously, all the LTD guys, I really want to see Manny, Soto, Figgy all come back and go at it again, and man, Tom, give me a contract, man. Put me in there with them, because I'm ready too, because those are the guys that I came up with. I'd love to compete against them again in a one-on-one situation. And I've been standing here in the commentary box talking shit, but I want to put my
I want to see Eric in this. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I'm accepting any challengers too, so let's run it. And I want to go against my guys too. I'll go up against Dom, Roosta, Young, all of them. So, sign me up. So anybody else at home that wants to get in on this, don't be shy.
Yeah, this can't be a like, oh, they're just having people from California or whatever. No, I want to see people from all
everywhere,
over the place.
East Coast, West Coast, up north, down south. You know,
Let's go. Let's open up this fucking pit.
Thank you everyone for going through this journey with us for our very first season. Please make sure you're subscribed to the KWA YouTube channel. Please make sure you're also following the KWA Instagram. Please make sure you're also following the Task Force podcast for additional updates. From my partner Sapo and Punk with me on the desk, from all of us here at KWA, on behalf of Task Force Podcast, I'm James, and keep an eye out for Season 2 of the KWA Fight Night.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the 2022 announcement video of KWA's newest product releases. We're starting this video out with two new releases in the VM4 and RM4 lineups. In the RM4, we're getting an all-new Q10, and in the VM4, we're getting an all-new M10. Check them out. Now, the first one we're going to be talking about is the newest addition to the VM4 lineup. This is the M10. As you can see, very similar to the other VMR series, it's an M4-based platform, AEG. There are some really cool changes. They've obviously gone with an updated silhouette, the raised upper receiver, new handguard, which I love because it comes with M-LOK, as well as Picatinny across the top, with plenty of venting to keep it light up front. And they've got, of course, the included flip up front and rear PTS sights and the enhanced polymer grip. Other changes include going back to a traditional style crane stock, so you've got a little bit more battery compatibility and those classic looks. You'll also notice that they've gone with a really slick looking E-magazine style. This is their MS-120C, the C denoting that it is a cutoff magazine. And that's because this new series from KWA's VM4 features their original cutoff feature. Now, there were a lot of airsofters looking for that really realistic cutoff feature. And it was a great way of kind of updating the design, but going back to a more traditional sense of realism. The gun will stop firing when the magazine's empty. Simply insert a new MS-120C, hit the bolt release, and go to town. And for those looking for even more realism, the MS-120C is selectable between 30 and 120 rounds. So if you're looking for really hyper-realistic games like milsims, where you want to be reloading often and really fulfilling that realistic sense in airsoft, switching it to 30 means you're going to be reloading a lot more. If you want more mag capacity, if you're not so stringent on that realism, 120 rounds each mid-cap functions beautifully and still has that cutoff functionality. Now, all of that is achieved thanks to the AEG 2.5 gearbox, which not only enables that cutoff feature, but also has variable FPS. The next addition, of course, is to their RM4 line, featuring their Q10, which is an all-new platform, much like the VM4, with some subtle differences. You still have the raised upper receiver with a new handguard that features Picatinny rail for a more classic look. Again, the flip-up sights are included. You've got the PTS grip, the awesome crane stock, as well as ambidextrous charging handle on both models. Now, the major difference here between the RM4 and the VM4 is recoil. The RM4 features the AEG 3 gearbox, which still has that cutoff functionality, but also incorporates simulated recoil, which in my opinion is one of the most realistic and most reliable recoil systems in the AEG market. Not only does this gun look amazing, but it feels great to shoot. And again, if you're looking for that ultimate realism, this also uses the MS-120C magazines, has that cutoff feature, and just looks amazing. But don't just take my word for it about these here in the studio. I'm sure you guys want to see them shoot. So check this out.
Everybody, it's Demo here, and I'm going to introduce you guys the brand new KO line from KWA. The KO line takes the same features, gearbox, and performance from all of your favorite existing KWA models and drops it into a brand new polymer receiver. With these new polymer receivers, each gun weighs under 5 pounds with a brand new vertical grip and a magazine. Last year, we announced the KO Eve, which is the polymer version of the Ronin T6, slated to release early 2022. And today, we're going to announce the rest of the KO line. So here it is, the second wave of the KWA Originals lineup. We have Rain, which is the polymer version of the Mod 2. Scarlet, which is the polymer version of the Ronin 47. Iris, which is the polymer version of the TK45. Ava, which is the polymer version of the Mod 1. And Lucy, which is the polymer version of the Mod 3. So now we're gonna get a little bit more in depth, and I'm gonna go hands-on with the brand new KO line. YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Demo here, back with another video. And yo, I'm about to give you guys an exclusive look at the brand new, well, second wave of the KWA KO series. Real quick, if you guys don't know what the KO series is, or even why I said second wave, it's because the first version of the KO was announced last year with the Eve. And what the Eve is basically a polymer version of the T6. And this second wave pretty much takes the rest of the Ronin and QRF lineup and gives them polymer version. And what's dope is that they didn't just copy and paste the original, build into a polymer version. No, they actually kind of changed it up a little bit. So enough of this talking and explaining. I'm actually gonna show you guys each and every model. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna breeze through these real quick and show you guys the guns, tell you guys the names, and then I'll get into the details and show you guys the features. And since KWA kicked it off by announcing the Ronin series first with the Eve, which is the polymer version of the Ronin T6, it's only right that I continue the Ronin series and announce the TK45 version, which is Iris, right here. Nice subtle detail that I like. The name of each gun is right here. Next up is the polymer version of the Ronin 47. We have Scarlet. Then there's the polymer version of the QRF Mod 3. This is Lucy right here. We got the Mod 2 counterpart, which in my opinion looks a little different. It looks actually a little bit more aggressive. This is Rain. And I don't know, man, but this angle right here looks way more aggressive than the original Mod 2. So I don't know, man. This one gives me even more video game vibes. And then everybody's favorite and one of the most popular. This is the polymer version of the Mod 1, Ava. All right, so now I'm gonna get into some details and key features that I actually really like and kind of makes these stand apart from their original counterparts. So we're gonna take a look at Rain real quick. And first off, I think the first thing you notice about this compared to its counterpart is the upper. One piece, monolithic, complete polymer constructed upper with M-lock rails, and you guys see it. This is a KWA vertical grip. This comes with the gun. Of course, you get the front and rear PTF flip up sights. Now taking a closer look at the lower receiver, you guys will see as well, that is it's a one piece lower with the grip. Kind of gives me some HK vibes. And this trigger, yo, I just noticed, look at the trigger too, a different shaped trigger. Now there's no longer a rear charging handle right here. You guys can see it's actually up here now. So you rack it back and you see the ejection port. It exposes the hop-up unit right here. We got the same adjustable stock, and the beautiful thing is that gearbox is the same 2.5 gearbox with the VPS system. So yes, you guys can adjust your FPS if you want to go play indoor, outdoor, depending on BB weights, you name it. Same gearbox, same solid performance, lightweight, more sleek, and I think just overall more comfortable and mobile platform. Yo, also while I have the Rain model in hand, I want to show you guys something. So the magazines are the exact same as their counterparts. Here I have one of the shorter mags. You guys can see it fits in just as well. If you guys have TK45 magazines, if you guys have the Mod 2, whatever the case may be, the existing magazines that you have will work with their counterparts. KWA also told me that each one of these guns is under 5 pounds, which I'm gonna be honest, for a KWA gun, that's impressive. But yeah, that's pretty much my little exclusive look at this second wave for the KO series. I don't know about y'all, but they look pretty sleek to me. If I gotta pick two, it's the Mod 1 and Mod 2. Y'all know those hold a special place in my heart just because of the video, man. Shout out to Ja.
And they see me rushing, you can call me Demo, cause when I get the bustin', boy, I shoot it like a freak. Hey. I be on my mind, TK on my waistline. I be on my grind, ain't no need to waste time. I ain't hard to find, I be on the baseline. Man, I got a crew that is straight up bustin', wood, what else I say? Good. Bro, that you on my heart. Bro, first heard about you did that, bro.
You did that. Nah. But that's enough talking, man. I want to take one of these out to the field. We'll probably dress it up a little bit.
And how has that
really
changed now?
All right, y'all. So we are out here at Tac City. They're running like Speed QB night or whatever. So we're gonna see how this goes in a competitive environment. I have Rain right here, which is the polymer version. The Mod 2. I still gotta get a chrono, but I can definitely like notice the weight difference from the original one. I got the Rain model, a couple mags. We're gonna shoot. These mags are kind of old and beat up, so I don't know if they're all gonna feed, but we'll see.
This is a new idea. This is a new way of bringing airsoft to the field.
To adjust the hop up, charging handle right here. You can hold it up right there. I do need to adjust this just a bit.
Presentation, and I can see the evolution throughout. So I feel like this show has progressed exactly. I think that when it comes to fight night, the next fight in the competition, there's going to be a lot more statistics. I think there's going to be a lot more player emphasis on skill base, where it basically puts the Speedsoft and Millicent the conversation. So when it comes to skill base.
Oh yeah, what? Oh yeah, yeah.
Pablo, you've been
I think this competition was more accessible at the time. That's when we're dealing with the early days of COVID. There's nothing really going on in airsoft competition. Obviously, we get large. So this is an environment where shrunk down the amount of competitors. And initially I thought it kind of played out more, right? And as it progressed and as it evolved, it started to feel a lot more like I'm really happy to have been there from the very beginning as a commentator, and like the competitors in the beginning, very early on, there was Sosa, there was Gunner, Airsoft Samurai, Ranger Red, who has
leader
been,
that has brought the airsoft industry to amazing heights.
It
doesn't matter if you're a beginner or if you've been playing the game for decades. You know about KWA,
for me,
from the Ronin
T6
T6 to the VM4 to special editions like the Kaiju 47 or the Mod 1 Limited
giving the
edition.
community something
Or
to
maybe
watch,
you have an LM4 or an ever so sold out KMP9. Today, KWA expands on their reputation.
And then towards the end, it became more about
to their
who are the absolute
presenting
best
the Lithgow
players
F90
that were gathered up. Sort of a Game of Thrones situation.
Getting the chance to visit an airsoft manufacturer's headquarters
exactly
is a highlight.
I
However,
wouldn't
getting
say
a chance to
played
sit
out exactly how I thought it was going to play out. There were some competitors that I thought were going to go
that's
very
an honor,
far.
And that's the situation that I find myself
maybe
today.
It was just
with this. The KWA
due to
Lithgow
inactivity
Arms
from some of these
F90,
more seasoned
based
players
of
that
course
I expected to
on
go,
the Australian rifle
and again,
advanced
like
on the
next
familiar
season
Steyr
comes around,
AUG.
I hope to see a lot of them come back. And I hope to see a lot of new faces as well. And things are clearing up now, so we might have the ability to have way more games per
now I'm
event.
going to say this.
Some undercards,
I already
main
love
events,
this thing without
more,
being able to really test the accuracy
I don't know. I want to say
or the
not
range
weight classes,
or
but like
even the true power output.
Already went
as
far.
This
we can
is
kind of
still
run it
an
back.
early prototype that is still changing and adapting. I'm still excited.
I want
gas
to go ahead
blowback
and
can
touch
be
on
a
what you
rare
just said
sight
about
on the field
classes,
sometimes, but gas blowback
like weight
bullpups
classes.
are
Obviously,
even
that's,
harder to find,
that doesn't really apply
even when
here
it's
in
not being
airsoft,
kept
like
behind
you're
a staggering
saying.
paywall. They
Conditioning
still
is
don't
a
see
thing.
much
However,
time in the public eye. The plan from
unless
KWA is
you
to go
see
public
more
with the
of,
F90 gas
players
blowback
like Valiant,
at $400 to
are
$500.
strong in one end
For
and
that
come
price,
in and
even
just,
if
you know,
everything
it's
on the
very rare to
outside
see
stays
somebody
exactly
adapt
the
like that
same, you'll
through
definitely
each
get a
match
high
like that,
quality replica before the
having
AEG
this
version
type of
hits the market
competition
much
across
later if
various different
KWA
playstyles.
has their way. Keep
that might,
your
like you said,
fingers
like a class
crossed.
system.
At nearly 10 pounds or 160 ounces, the KWA F90 features a full metal construction as you would come to expect.
Obviously,
with of course
the way
a
I see it
high-strength
unfolding
polymer
in the
body
Season 2
that
situation
keeps
is
all of the metal
the
parts
newcomers,
together. The build
should probably duke it
construction
out amongst
is
themselves.
solid, even
And
for a
the
prototype,
returning players
which would
could
explain the
kinda
weight
just,
and the solid feel that I
run it back to
noticed
some
when
matches.
handling the F90.
Then we can
I was
kinda
stunned to
see those
see
two
that the overall weight was
classes,
still
quote-unquote,
centered
come together.
just behind the pistol grip like the real thing,
see the best of the
which was
best,
done
run it
intentionally
back,
as
we'll
this
see the
launch will
newcomers
benefit airsoft
duke it out and
enthusiasts
see
and
who's the best of
anyone
that group,
who would like to train
and take
with
the best of both
highly
groups,
accurate Lithgow
make 'em
F90
fight.
replica.
And
Of
that's what I'm
course, the
hoping to
model
see
will be
next season.
produced for
I like
airsofters
that.
and for the military. but
So,
this will be
one
the
of the other
only
things I wanted
version
to
that
touch
you'll
on
really
too is
see on
that
the
so
market.
there was
This project
an East
was a
Coast
product of a
competition
military
for Fight Night.
contract,
It wasn't.
and
It
these are
wasn't
the kind of
broadcast
things
the
that
same way
KWA
that this one
specializes
was.
in with
However,
law enforcement
there is
and
a
on the
big
military
East
side.
Coast
And
interest.
KWA have quite a few projects in store for the gas blowback.
I think it's
outdoor,
time, and you know, and
Nelson
I'm a
community,
'90s
I'm
rapper.
told.
You know, I grew
Moving
up
on, the
East
controls will
Coast,
be
West
familiar
Coast
to
rap,
anyone
and
who's ever
see
used an
this kind of
AUG
thing come
for
to
any
airsoft
period
where
of time.
you have
Just like
West
how
Coast
takedown
play
is fast
styles,
and
East Coast
simple
play styles.
after you push this
I wanna start
wedge
seeing
off to
that
the
stuff
side.
mingle.
This
You know
will
what I
make barrel
mean?
swaps
For sure.
easy.
I mean,
Here's hoping
look,
that we'll actually see different barrel lengths produced
not
by
gonna be shy about it,
KWA.
you know.
And this will
No,
make
bring it.
hop-up
No, say it.
adjustments
West
easier,
Coast
as
is
you can see
way
the
more
rotary
experienced,
hop-up right
you know.
here. There's no tools
but
needed
I
to
was just
adjust
out in
this
Rhode Island,
hop-up,
you know,
thankfully. With the addition of the
met a
bolt
lot of
release,
East Coast
you'll be
players,
able to
all from
lock
New
back your
England,
bolt without
you know,
needing to lock the bolt
they're
handle
hungry,
up.
man, and they
Nor
want
will
it.
you need to
Central,
manipulate the
Central,
handle
too.
when
Yeah.
swapping magazines.
Oh, yeah.
Just use this
Central,
paddle to release the bolt
I mean, just
and
pretty much
continue
all
the
of the United
fight.
States, you know,
A
and I
couple
think it'd be
other
interesting to
changes
see
to
at
the
some
AUG,
point
besides the
some of the
overall look
international,
of the upper receiver
you know,
that accepts
airsofters
Picatinny
come out,
accessories
too, because
much
there's a lot
more
of talent
easily,
all across the
would
world.
be
We're talking
found
about
in the pivoting
all
charging
over
handle
Asia,
and
all
to the
over
trigger.
Europe, you know,
The F90 retains the dual
there's a
stage
huge
trigger
pool of
mechanism that
talent
we've seen in the AUG
that,
and in the
you know,
P90. But if you
KWA
can't afford to
can pull from
accidentally
these Fight
fire a
Night
burst of
events.
full
And,
auto,
I'm
then
really
simply
excited to see
pull
what this can
down
grow
the
into,
full auto lockout
because there's
pin.
not too
On the
many,
other hand, iron sights
1v1
might not come with this
competitions out there,
KWA,
you know,
just like how the real civilian F90 or A-Trax
An
is sold.
international,
But the
an
long
international
rail top
competition
should fit
1v1
just
would
about
be
anything.
insane.
Taking a look at the trigger guard,
I just wanna throw
you
that out
notice
there.
this large
Obviously,
plastic
it's
piece
still a bit
and wonder
ruggedy
why
right
it's
now.
there.
The ease of
Well,
travel
after
is
you
not
slide
really
it out,
there.
you'll have a cavity
But, you
in
know,
the guard
in a
that will be
season or
used
two,
with a
I
specific
think,
launcher
you know,
named
we'll
the
see that open
SL40
up a little bit.
UBGL
But,
that
again,
we
we
sadly
need to see
don't
it
have
unfold
access
regionally.
to
You
in
know,
the
I would love
airsoft
to
world.
see
That's a great addition to
Japanese
detail
players
that
group it
some
out,
people
you
out
know,
there will admire.
players in
All around,
Taiwan,
even for a prototype, I'm impressed. Of
obviously,
course, performance
Netherlands,
matters
Belgium,
the most.
France,
So I hope when we
Germany,
see this release in the fourth quarter
all
of
the competitors that are
2022,
in the,
it'll
you know,
range,
EU,
it'll be consistent,
playing
and it'll
SpeedTV
do
right now.
all
That's
of that
a
without
huge,
severe
pool of talent.
cooldown
And that's
issues.
primarily been a
But
team
from the
sport.
bayonet mount to
I
the
know
sling
there's a
points
lot of
and
really,
all the
really
ambidextrous controls and
fierce
possibilities,
1v1 players
I'll do my best to
in
cover
that,
them all
talent
when we
pool,
get
and
the
I wanna
full
see- I wanna
release
see that
from
happen.
KWA. I've made absolutely sure that KWA knows that I want to get one as soon as possible. I really wish I could have gone more in depth now, as something like this is right up my alley. Seeing this with a scope or a short grip is just not enough. I need to play with the short barreled model and throw a suppressor on it. But for now, I think I'll leave you off with a whole lot of shooting clips, but feel free to ask as many questions as you'd like to about the KWA F90 in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. And that's all I have to say about the Lithgow F90 by KWA at the moment. It's needless to say, I'm very excited about this, and I cannot wait for it to release. I really want to thank KWA for sending us out here so I can do videos and photos and make this video. It's been such a great experience, and I cannot wait to come back sometime. This has been Scott Hollenbeck, and I will be sure to see you all next time. I'm never going to get over this. This thing's freaking cool.